There is a saying, among all vegetables, Chinese cabbage is the best. In winter, it is as tasty as bamboo shoots. Chinese cabbage is delicious and nutritious, known as the king of vegetables, playing a very important role in the year-round supply of vegetables. Chinese cabbage, also known as pak choy or Napa cabbage, was called song in ancient times. It belongs to the Brassicaceae family and the Brassica genus. It is a biennial herbaceous plant that is native and endemic to China, with a long cultivation history in the country. In this lesson, we will get to know Chinese cabbage together. We will study from 3 aspects: biological characteristics, varieties and types, cultivation seasons, and crop rotation arrangements. The learning objectives of this lesson are: 1. To understand the morphological characteristics, growth cycle, and environmental requirements of Chinese cabbage. 2. To learn about common varieties of Chinese cabbage. 3. To grasp the cultivation seasons and the key points of crop rotation arrangements for Chinese cabbage. To grow high-quality and high-yield Chinese cabbage, we need to understand its biological characteristics. Let's start with its morphological characteristics. Roots. Chinese cabbage has slender taproots and well-developed lateral roots, with a strong ability for root regeneration. Most of the roots are distributed within the top 30 centimeters of soil. In direct seeding, the taproot is predominant, while transplanting tends to promote the growth of lateral and adventitious roots. Stems. Judging from the longitudinal section, the stem of Chinese cabbage is shortened during the vegetative growth period. It elongates into a flowering stem during the reproductive growth phase, reaching a height of 60 to 100 centimeters. Leaves. The leaves of Chinese cabbage vary not only in size, but also in shape at different growth stages. They can be divided into cotyledons and true leaves, with the latter including basal leaves, mid-vegetative leaves, terminal leaves, and stem leaves. Flowers. Chinese cabbage produces a compound racemose inflorescence, with flowers blooming from bottom to top in a cross-shaped arrangement. It has complete flowers and is self-incompatible. Self-pollination can occur during the bud stage and result in seed formation. Fruit. The fruit is a silique that splits longitudinally into 2 halves upon maturity. Seeds. The seeds are spherical, slightly flattened, reddish-brown in color, and lack endosperm. The 1,000 seed weight ranges from 3.0 to 3.3 grams, with a viability of 3 to 4 years. Now let's understand its growth and development cycle. Chinese cabbage is a biennial plant that completes one growth cycle through 2 stages: vegetative growth and reproductive growth. In autumn, from sowing to harvest and winter storage, it undergoes the vegetative growth stage, which includes 5 cycles. In the second year, during spring, the seed planting from bolting to flowering and pollination to seed setting belongs to the reproductive growth stage, which includes 3 cycles. Germination period. From sowing, the seed germinates until the first pair of true leaves appears, called the germination period. The true leaves intersect with the cotyledons in a cruciform shape, hence called cross formation, taking 7 to 8 days. Seedling period. From the appearance of the first pair of true leaves to the seedling having grown the first leaf ring, 6 to 8 true leaves, that is, from cross formation to clump formation. Clump formation means that besides the first pair of basal leaves, the seedling has also formed a leaf ring of leaves, with early maturing varieties having 5 leaves and mid to late maturing varieties having 8 leaves. Rosette period. From clump formation to the 3rd leaf ring being fully grown, when the plant's hard leaves start to show signs of wrapping, marking the end of the rosette period. Simply put, it is from clump formation to the start of wrapping. Heading period, also known as the wrapping period, from the hard leaves embracing to the head of leaves fully forming, divided into 3 stages: early, middle, and late. In the early stage, the outer leaves grow rapidly, forming the outline of the leaf ball, known as chotong. In the middle stage, the inner leaves grow rapidly to fill the inside of the leaf ball, known as guansem. Dormancy period. When Chinese cabbage encounters low temperatures at the later stage of heading, its growth and development process are inhibited, forcing it into a dormant state. The dormancy of Chinese cabbage is not physiological dormancy but forced dormancy. The reproductive growth stage includes the phases from bud emergence to bolting, flowering, fruit setting, and seed maturation. Specifically, it can be divided into the bolting period, from the start of bolting to the beginning of flowering, taking about 15 days, the flowering period, from the main flower stem blooming to the whole plant wilting, taking about 15 to 20 days, and the pod setting period, during which the pods grow rapidly after flowering, with seeds continuously developing and filling until they reach maturity. Next, let's understand the environmental conditions required. Temperature. Chinese cabbage prefers a cool climate, with an optimal growth temperature of 10 to 22 degrees Celsius. Growth is poor when temperatures exceed 25 degrees Celsius or drop below 10 degrees Celsius. It is a seed vernalization vegetable, with an optimal vernalization temperature of 2 to 5 degrees Celsius. Light. Chinese cabbage has a certain tolerance for low light. It is a long-day plant. After low-temperature vernalization, it requires long-day conditions to undergo reproductive growth through the photoperiod. Water. Chinese cabbage prefers moist conditions. Keep the soil moist during the seedling stage. Control water appropriately during the late rosette stage. Water abundantly during the heading stage. Reduce watering in the late heading stage. Soil and nutrients. It is best grown in fertile loam or light clay loam with deep, loose, fertile soil rich in organic matter, with a pH that is neutral to slightly acidic. What shapes do we see in cabbages in our daily life? Can you name any features? Are some round and some long? Let's learn about the varieties of Chinese cabbage together. According to the process of evolution, the Chinese cabbages planted in China can generally be divided into 4 types: loose leaf, semi-heading, flowering heart, and heading. Based on the shape of the leaf ball and ecological requirements, heading Chinese cabbages are usually classified into 3 basic ecological types: ovate, flat-topped, and cylindrical. According to when the plant starts forming heads and the length of the cultivation period, heading Chinese cabbages are typically divided into 3 cultivar types: early maturing, mid-maturing, and late maturing. 1. Early maturing varieties. From sowing to harvest, it takes about 60 to 80 days. They are highly heat resistant but not cold tolerant, often cultivated in early autumn or spring, with low yield and poor storage capacity. 2. Mid-maturing varieties. From sowing to harvest, it takes about 80 to 90 days. They have high yields, are both heat and cold tolerant, often cultivated as autumn vegetables, suitable for areas with a short frost-free period and severe diseases. 3. Late maturing varieties. From sowing to harvest, it takes about 90 to 120 days. They have high yields, large individual plants, and good quality, cold tolerant but not heat tolerant, mainly cultivated in autumn and winter. For cultivating high quality and high yield Chinese cabbage, timely sowing is very important. Next, let's learn about the suitable planting seasons and crop rotation arrangements for Chinese cabbage. Chinese cabbage is mainly cultivated in the open field and under protective facilities. In the Huanghui River Basin, there are 3 cycles of cultivation in spring, summer, and autumn. In most parts of northeast China, there are 2 cycles in spring and autumn. In high-altitude areas, there is 1 cycle per year. In South China, there is year-round cultivation. Protected cultivation mainly involves shade and rain shelter. Chinese cabbage requires mild climate conditions, so it is mainly cultivated in the cool seasons across the country, primarily through open field planting. The spring cycle involves protected seedling cultivation in early spring and open field planting. The initial stage is in the arch shed, and the later stage is in the open field. The autumn cycle involves sowing in summer and harvesting in autumn and winter. Chinese cabbage should not be planted continuously and nor rotated with other cruciferous vegetables. In this lesson, we have learned the following key points. 1. The biological characteristics of Chinese cabbage. 2. Varieties and types. 3. Planting seasons and crop rotation arrangements. Chinese cabbage is a major vegetable consumed by the public in winter and spring. Although various vegetables are available in the market throughout the year, the consumption of Chinese cabbage remains stable. Through today's learning, you should fully consider the local natural conditions and climate environment when planting Chinese cabbage, and carry out scientific cultivation and management. That's all for today's lesson. Lastly, I will leave you with 2 questions for independent reflection and completion after class.